This video will provide 4 Screenflow 8 tips that will help you solve common problems that you may encounter while using the software. Let's get into it! This channel gives you YouTube tips, tools, and marketing strategies for you, the budding YouTube creator. I fight for you by doing the research so that you can grow subscribers fast in this highly competitive venue. Subscribe and click the bell for a new video and live stream notification every Tuesday. Let's go! Hey, thanks for stopping in. My name is Scott Fichter. We're going to discuss volume settings, source file size management, editing tips, and a tip in regards to reducing your rendering time. Okay, I've got 2 sound tips for you. Have you ever imported a sound file and it's very low in volume? So low in volume, in fact, that when you go to the audio volume and turn it all the way up, it just isn't loud enough. Well, guess what? If you just copy the waveform and duplicate it, you will get the volume. It may take it 3 or 4 times to get it up there, but it will get louder. Now, another way to approach making a sound louder is by going into the audio icon in the upper right-hand corner and selecting your sound file, okay? This is the quiet one that I have here. And then I'm going to select processing, and there's a checkbox right next to smooth volume levels. I'm going to check that. Now watch what happens when I checked it. Do you see it increased the volume of the file by making the waveform more visible? Before you could barely see it because it was so quiet. So basically what this parameter does is 2 things, which is really phenomenal. It will reduce the hiss out of a file as best it can, and it will raise it to what it thinks is the best volume for production. Now, it will also do the same thing if the file is super duper loud. As you can see by this file to the right of the quiet file, there's a lot of red at the bottom and tops of the waveforms. That means that it's getting clipped. It's way too loud. So if we highlight that file and click smooth volume levels, it will reduce it so that the sounds do not need to be clipped anymore. So it's a really useful thing. I highly recommend that you check off this parameter every time on every clip that you have. Make sure that you check that off so that the system is processing it and modifying the volume levels so that they are at their optimum levels for production. All right, cool. Okay, let's talk about the Screenflow source file. I don't know if you're aware, but this source file contains all the individual clips and sound effects and all the files in a single file, and it can blow up to be a huge size if you don't keep an eye on it. Now, I don't know about you, but I like to sort of read from an outline. I don't read a script when I make my videos, so I'm constantly recutting, and if you don't watch out, the source file could be 10 gigabytes in size very easily. So here we are in the media library. As you can see, I've made many clips here, too many to mention, and I'd say about 50% of them are not being used in the timeline. So to get rid of these files, all you have to do is click the gear and click remove all unused media. Now when you click it, you're going to get a little screen that pops down, and it's going to highlight all the files that are not being used. It says the following media sources do not have clips in the timeline and can be automatically deleted. Just click the delete button and hit delete again. It just wants to make sure you're not going to remove stuff you don't want. Hit delete again, and boom, it cuts it down. Now look, on the right-hand side, it looks like it removed about 90% of all the clips. That is an enormous change in the file size from its original size with all those clips in it. Make sure you do that every single time. Bonus info!
Did you know that you can type text into Screenflow and the software will convert it to speech?
Yep, it's really easy. All you have to do is click Insert Speech Clip. A little window opens up, type in the language. The dog is green. Select the voice. Now there's a couple voices in here. Some of them actually will speak a different language when you select them. I'm going to select Alex, hit insert, and a waveform is generated, and when I hit the play button,
the dog is green.
There you go. It adds it right to your timeline. Super easy. Okay, I want to go over some speed keys and some editing tips here on the timeline. Here we have 2 videos. The top video here is ending at the same time as the bottom video, okay? So inherently what happens is you have your playhead and you hit the T key to split. Always hit the T to split, okay? Then you move it forward. Maybe you were going to delete some ums and buts and whatever from the speech. Hit the T key again and you delete that section. Now at this point you have a couple ways to delete that space, okay? There's a right way and there's a wrong way. The wrong way here, okay, is to double click the space, make it blue, and hit delete, because what happens is it only modifies that single track. Remember I told you that the video here was supposed to end at the same time as the video below? So it's easy to fix it here because you can just visually drag it. But if the video is 15 minutes long, it corrupts everything. You do not want to delete tracks like that, okay? The way you want to delete it is called a ripple cut. Take the play hit, hold the shift key down and drag it, then hit Command or Control, depending on a PC or Mac. Command and Control and delete, and it deletes all the tracks all at once and shifts them forward. That's the way you want to do it every single time, okay? Now, if you want to add space inside of a track globally, you can hit this little tab at the bottom and it will automatically split it for you and add air in case you want to add some videos in the track. Simple stuff. If you want to close it back up, all you have to do, move it to the right and drag it back closed. Boom. No problem. That's another way of doing a ripple cut. Okay, now we're going to talk about export settings so that your computer will render a little bit faster for creating the single file. Go to File, Subchoice, Export, and make sure that when you're using motion blur, make sure that Use Motion Blur is unchecked, or check it and select Light. If you make it heavy, it's going to increase processing time because it's got to calculate the blur effect for every frame when you move your mouse around. I have to admit, the effect is very cool, but it will make render time longer. Now, go into Customize and make sure that it says H.264 video. Reduce your frame rate to 30. Make the data rate 8000. Profile main, single pass, okay? Make sure it says single pass. And key frame rate automatic and hit OK. I'm sure that you are aware that YouTube only allows 20 seconds for end screens to show up at the end of your videos. Now this can be kind of problematic on the Screenflow timeline because depending on your view size in the timeline, the time increments may not be seconds. They may be slower than seconds if you're zoomed in. They may be 2 or 3 seconds when you zoom out. So it's kind of confusing. You're not really sure what the heck 20 seconds it should be. So I highly recommend you create a 20-second video and just simply drop it in so that you know when you should start the end screens on your timeline. So for example, here's one I have. It's green. It's actually got a clock in it. It's pretty cool. Just drop it in and now you know for sure exactly when those 20 seconds start so you can start talking about your end screens, okay? You're going to love this tip. Now, if you're interested in some of the new features for Screenflow 8, click this video and I will see you there right away. Oh, I wanted to say hi to Rochelle at Bejan Stroke Survivor. She is a great person. She has such a pure spirit. Go over and visit her channel. Tell her I sent you. Say hello. Subscribe to her channel. She is terrific. Woo! See ya.